Hello everyone, Anime Flame 12 here, and it's time for the final level of Let's Play Gunstar Heroes. I must say that this final episode has given me quite a bit of recording trouble, but I'll get into more detail on that as we go along here, so let's get going. As I might have mentioned at the end of the last episode, this final level is basically a boss rush comprised of all the bosses, the 4 original bosses you faced in the 4 levels to start the game. First off against these two, these were Pink's lackeys in the first level. In order to dodge them, you have to, a good trick is to use the side of the screen to double jump over them when they try to stomp on you like this. And also, when they start shooting at you, let's see if they'll even do it here, just duck under them, and you'll be able to beat them without too much trouble. Once you defeat them, one of them will remain and use the machine gun to try and shoot at you. Like before, duck under his shots, and if he comes near you, just try and back away. He's not too much trouble when he's far away, but if he gets too close, he might be a little bit of a pain, but he looks like he's trying to stay as far away from me as possible right now. And I beat him without taking any damage. Okay, so while we go along here trying to get to the next boss, I'll just go over my what I was talking about with the recording problems. I've had a couple of prior recording sessions of this final level, whoops, and due to the emulator being slow, the audio recording ended up being longer than that of the video recording on both attempts. I couldn't quite figure out why. I thought it might be because I tried to link up my PS3 controller to the emulator after recording my last episode to see if that was possible. I couldn't get it to work, and I thought that might have screwed up my emulator, so I just tinkered with it a little bit and hopefully ended up fixing it. If not, then you'll probably never even hear me talking about this, and I really don't want to do post-commentary on this. I'd like to do live if possible, so hopefully I ended up fixing the problem. Anyway, this next boss is now Pink, riding in this sort of a crab-shaped device. Just like the earlier boss, you can use the side of the screen to double jump over him. Watch out for these bubbles as well. And you can also slide under him. Uh-oh. Crap. Getting caught by the bubbles here. You can slide under him when he's not swinging his arm. Of course, watch out for the bubbles there, because if you get caught in them, then they can do a bit of damage. After you get him down to about half his health, which I've done already, they'll start firing bubbles continuously. Just stay away from them, and when every now and then your chaser laser will go off of him and onto his arm. At that point, you're going to have to stop shooting for a second, approach him, and then start shooting again. Just like the earlier boss, there's nothing to it, and I haven't really taken much damage at this point, so I'm actually doing very good on this recording. This is probably as good as I've done in the all the recordings I've done so far. So moving right along here, well, our next boss will be Orange. Oh, hold on, I can just go walk past him. Whoops! Oh shoot, I destroyed the health. All the health in this level is worth 40, so it prepares you for just in case you take a lot of damage. Alright, so this boss this time is Orange. The trick to successfully fighting this guy is just to stay on the opposite level of what he's on here. So, but if you're on top and you try to avoid him from the bottom, you're going to want to, whoopsie. And like I said, wow, we never did that before. Anyways, you just got to watch out for those things. And you also sometimes do that if you try and jump over him. I wasn't expecting what he just did a second ago, because he never did that in my previous recording. So anyway, just stay on the opposite level of what he's on. Just watch out for his shots when you try to jump over him, and you should be able to beat him without too much difficulty. And also, as you might be able to tell, you can't do continuous damage to him. Whoops. Stay away from him. You can't do continuous damage to him, because after every couple hundred points of damage, he'll become invincible for a second. But that's not really much of a problem. Just as long as you stay away from him, stay on the opposite level, and he shouldn't be able to do any damage to you at all. Can't do anything from up there. Doesn't matter what he does. Alright. Wow, I'm still doing pretty good here. Hopefully don't jinx myself here. Because in one of my earlier attempts I was doing pretty good as well, and then I almost died on the final boss. So I'll just be sure to be really careful this time. Our next boss is Black, and this one's a little bit more difficult, because you don't have a lot of maneuvering room here. Of course, you can't fall off this elevator or else you'll take damage. You have to fight Black in this strange mechanism, and you also got to watch out for these beams of light that fall down from the oh, that wasn't fair at all. Knocked me right off. You have to watch out for these beams of light. You just gotta try and stay to the sides of them. Sometimes they're hard to avoid. And now he'll start shooting a triangular laser at you. The trick to avoiding this is to jump on top of him using the sides of the those beams on the side of the elevator to jump around him and try to avoid the laser beam. And there we go. Beat him. So now there's just one more guy to face there before we get to the final boss. It'll be Green this time. His fighting style is, or the trick to fighting him is similar to that of fighting Orange. Just stay on the opposite level of what he's at. And also, if you're on the same level and you try to shoot him, he'll do that. He'll block your shots. So the only way you can damage him is you have to be on the opposite level. Not only is it safer, but it's essential to beating him. And sometimes when you're on the same level as he does, he'll also try to attack you. Unlike Orange, however, you'll have to constantly switch levels because he'll always be jumping at you and trying to hit you and stuff. So he's a lot more tricky than... Oh, that hurt. He's a lot more tricky than... Well, I'm not doing good on him this time. He's a lot more tricky than Orange is. And just like Orange as well... Whoop! Oh, why'd I fall off there? Just like Orange, you can't do continuous damage to him. He'll always, Chaser Laser also follows the stars he shoots. He'll become invincible after every few hundred points of damage, so it'll take a little time to beat him. So you'll have to be jumping around a little bit during this boss fight. So since I've discussed everything there is here while I'm trying to take him out here, I'll just discuss my plans for the future here. For the next week or so, or week and a half, or half a week, I have the house basically to myself, so I hope to be able to do a lot of recording. After I finish this game off, which will hopefully be in this episode, I'm pretty confident it will be, I'll be going back to finish my Bubble and Squeak LP, and yeah, it's been a while since I've done that, and I've really missed it a little bit. I'd really like to finish that game off. And also, I believe I mentioned this, if there's any game, a Sega Genesis game that you guys want to see me LP, just leave a note in the comments and I'll consider trying it out sometime. Maybe a new game that I've never played before. It's got to be a Sega Genesis game though, because right at the moment that's the only one I know how to record. Okay, so now we're going to go and fight the final boss, which surprisingly isn't that guy. The final boss is actually those gems that we collected at the very beginning of the game. They are going to be used to power up the actual final boss, which is name is Gold and Silver. It's a sort of a giant, sort of a robot in there. That's him right there. And the only way you can damage him is by attacking those gems, and that's why having the Chaser Laser comes in handy at the end of the game, because it'll always follow those gems. It'll never... Whoa, careful there. It'll never follow that guy. Of course, you will have to sometimes attack him to... Hey, I was supposed to hit you. You weren't supposed to hit me there. So he can be kind of tricky, and this is where you'll start getting hit quite a bit, and this is where all those hit points you've earned throughout the game really come in handy. Whoops. You have to hit him, because there's hardly any way to dodge him, and the way to hit him successfully is to jump into him every time he tries to attack you. Once you get him down to about half his health, which I've done, he'll teleport back into the middle, and the gems will start attacking you. Each gem does a different thing, and they do quite a bit of damage, so try not to get hit. And you can see it doesn't matter which gem you attack, they'll all do damage, because every time I stop firing, my Chaser Laser follows a different gem. And he's almost dead now, and that is it for the game. I beat the final boss, and that'll be it. So there will be a cutscene here to end the game off, and since I'm not going to read any of the text, I'll just let that cutscene run, and I'll talk to you guys again once the credits start. And hopefully, once again, hopefully the recording doesn't screw up this time. This is already the third time, and I really don't want to have no commentary or do post-commentary. Alright, so here's the start of the cutscene, and I'll just be quiet for a second. So basically, Green sacrifices himself to deliver the finishing blow. And with that, that puts an end to the my first LP. Well, technically my second, because I postponed the Bubble and Squeak LP to play this, but first LP I completed. So like I said, I'll be going back now and continuing on with my Bubble and Squeak LP and get that done. And so once again, if there's any game that you want to see in the LP, just leave it in the comments and I'll consider giving it a shot sometime. So I guess since the credits are rolling here, there's not really much to say. I'll just begin my wrap-up. As usual, this is Anime Flame 12, as always. Leave a comment. Hope you enjoyed this LP. Subscribe to me on YouTube in order to keep track on my videos. And I'll see you again soon for the next LP. So, I guess I'll just let this run now. So this is Anime Flame 12, and I'll see you again for my next LP.